Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is of course Light, and today I'm gonna be reviewing a hardware wallet known as Cypherock X1. The company was kind enough to send me a free review copy for this and also include a coupon for you guys, which can give you a 17% discount on the device just by adding the code LightLiger17. Now, before we go into the actual specs and everything, let's break down the wallet bit by unboxing the actual wallet. So let's start by actually opening up the box. Inside the box we have a travel case, and this is very convenient when you're traveling into your friend's place, or maybe you're going into another country and you still want to have access to your keys. Here we have my imprinted logo on it. Very sweet of the team to actually do that. And inside the case we have all things we basically need, and basically you can bring all of these in a much more smaller package actually. And here are the cards. These are also imprinted with my logo. These are essential way to basically log into the device. These are something that you will be scanning. There are 4 of them in total, and they are basically used in order, and these can be even given to like other friends or something like to hold basically. And even if you lose one, you're not going to be losing everything. And here's the actual device, and it has a joystick on it and a USB charger that goes into the place, and obviously that is going to be used to connect the device into an actual computer. And here we have like a key band which can be attached, and here we have the USB thing which is used to actually connect. Here we have some extra papers, and there's a bit of like a guidelines and everything how to do. We have also thing that can be put on the laptop to basically hide out the actual camera. I don't have like a laptop like that which has, but many people do, because laptops are probably essential with things like these. And these are the sleeves for your cards in case, because there's the whole the golden part on the card, and this is obviously needs to be protected, so these sleeves are very essential. Okay, these are kind of hard to put into, but these are like way to protect the the cards from being damaged. So they're not obviously like, they are made out of like same material than a lot of other these business cards are made out of, so you have to be kind of careful here about protecting them. These are not made out of metal. So these are your essential ways to basically access your wallet. So these are something you want to like keep on, maybe on your wallet, or maybe in a phone case or somewhere else where it's basically protected. And obviously use these sleeves as well. And then there is this extra USB adapter which can be put into the other end in case you will have a different type of attachment in your computer or other device which needs to be added in. So that's a lot of extra here. The device is very very small, and it's like very lightweight, which is good. And I really like the analog interface, because that's just bringing in like a lot more easier way to interact. And then on the end of the device there's this hoop thing which you can put in your key ring in case you want to bring it along. But overall, like, I would say that the device is very, very convenient from the user, thing, because we have things like Ledger, for example, which has those buttons, and it's not very nice to use. Let's be honest about it. And same applies with a lot of other devices. So it has to be, analog control, or it has to be touchscreen. Either way, it's like, otherwise, it's going to be taking too long to basically interact with and set things up, and it's just like not very convenient. And usually, even touchscreens have dangers of actually like getting broken or something like that. Analog things don't really very often actually break, and the interface is very easy to use with this device. So I have to give it up kudos to being able to produce something so small, but also something so convenient and easy to read and everything to use. So you can use it with one hand. You don't need to use 2 hands with it. So if you're like disabled or something, like, this is very convenient. Now that the unboxing is out of the way, let's focus on the actual specs of Cypherock X1 and what are the things that is making it proprietary, what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths, etc. So the biggest selling point of this hardware wallet is that it does not have a seed phrase. Yes, it does have an ability to basically generate a seed phrase, but everything is stored throughout these 4 different cards and the actual device, which is very convenient in case like you are storing some of your seed phrases in your computer and your computer is jeopardized. Some hacker basically gets access to it and they can basically find out your seed phrases. But with this, in case they do not get access to your actual physical cards, this is actually quite a secure way to access your funds. So it's very convenient in terms of the security. It has been also audited by Keylabs. These are the people that basically hacked the ledger. I broke that story on one of my earlier videos, I think this year, when we have talked about a lot of the problems that have been going on in the crypto security. I think security has been kind of like a big talking point in a sense in the crypto industry this year, or at least the latter half of the year. There has been a lot of hacks, a lot of things going on, and there has been much more bigger emphasis on a lot of like extensions which are protecting you from malware, phishing, and all these types of things. And there's going to be a much more, increased interest in all types of hardware wallets out there. We should probably kind of break down a bit of the thing. So essentially, Cypherock is decentralizing your private key in giving you 10x more security. I don't know what exactly is the metric that makes it 10x, but basically you don't need a seed phrase, as we already mentioned, and it's splitting up the key in 5 different parts. The 4 of them are the actual, cards that we broke down, and the 5th one is basically the device itself. And this is basically, you can distribute it into different geographical locations and whatever you want to. And making transaction is very easy. You just scan out the card and it basically sends out that transaction. Now, it may be not convenient always to bring out all of those devices alongside with you. So that's kind of a bit of a negative here, that I have to scan a lot with the actual device of the cards. But in case, you're looking for that maximum security and you're not doing that many transactions, I think this is very, very good form of a security, because there is no single point of failure here. No seed phrase backups anywhere. And, as they say, peace of mind. Now, let's go back into, kind of breaking down, I'm not always the best kind of breaking down these cryptographic things, but we already broke down the kind of the decentralized, which is called the Shamir's secret sharing. I'm sure that there's some type of white paper kind of breaking down what exactly that technology is. And if I'm going to be finding, some type of doc file, I'm going to be leaving that in the description down below. And, software wallets have their own security problems. Hardware wallets have own security problems as well. This is a rather secure way. However, you are going to be downloading the actual... However, with Cypherock, you have to actually download the desktop application, which is used by actually connecting your Cypherock device by a USB cable. Now, this is, I think it's a good system, but the problem as of right now, there's no mobile support. So in case you want to access your funds with the device, with a mobile device, let's say your laptop burns down or you may not have a computer when you're traveling, there's no way to actually access your funds, as far as I know, with the current setup. So that's a one negative, but I'm sure that at some point they are going to be doing an actual mobile device, which is going to be allowing you to access your funds. So in terms of the CY Sync, which is the desktop application, this is what it looks like. It does come along with a couple of different features. There's multitude of different coins that you can add into the, the wallet. So basically there's also a lot of tutorials here. So in case this video is not giving you enough information, you should definitely go look into all of these videos, which go into deleting the wallets, factory resets. All of these things are basically available. In terms of the settings, there are a couple of things that you can set up here, like a password. Also in the device itself, you have the ability to put a PIN code, which is optional. So in case you don't want to hassle with a PIN code, you have also the option. You also have the option to clear the sync update over here. We have an auto lookup here, which is very convenient, an email authenticator. As far as I know, there's no Google Authenticator or other authenticator available right now, which hopefully they will add in the future for those people who don't want to use emails. There's a couple of device settings here, authentication, So we're not going to be looking into that right now. There's obviously device updates, and it will tell you the firmware, and also the device will ask you, do you want to actually update the firmware, which is a very good thing, because sometimes some of these devices automatically add the firmware, and some of the firmware might be like outdated, or maybe there's like some bugs in them which you don't necessarily want auto installed in case there's going to be some potential exploits in the future. There's also a transactions tab which goes into all of these things, and you can add a multitude of different coins. So let's see what are basically established here. One of the negatives I would say here is that every time I add another coin into the list, I have to scan out all the 4 keys again. Please add an option that I can add all the assets at once by just like adding the codes. I don't want to go like one by one here. So we have Bitcoin here with a SegWit and a Legacy. So without SegWit, we have Binance Smart Chain, we have Avalanche, Arbitrum, Dash, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Phantom, Litecoin, Near, Optimism, Polygon, and also 3 different versions of Solana. So there are things that are missing here, like XRP. What else do we don't have here? There's a couple of other EVM chains which could be added here potentially. So it's not a very big list of assets, and I'm sure there's technical capabilities of adding these more in the future. But I do want to add here that people who are looking for a lot of different options here, this exactly may not be the one. Far as I know, also they support all the ERC20 tokens here, so you don't have to worry about that. But in case you're looking for a lot of different coins to be supported, this may not be currently the option you are looking for, but I would argue that there are a lot of like essential projects listed here, which does, cater the most needs, because most of the people are holding like Ethereum and Bitcoin, and those are kind of the big ones, and obviously Doge and Litecoin. So those are the very popular coins that people want to basically hold. Then there's the portfolio page, which basically will show you the month and the yearly and sets like this, how you are basically performing. The device is currently connected, so it will show you here. There's also a discrete mode, which will hide out the balances or whatever. And there is also a wallet connect button. So you have the opportunity to basically put a URI here, and you basically can log into some DeFi application, etc. However, I would love to have an actual, option on the application which allows you to take a screen cap. So I don't need to, get the URI. I can just scan the QR code with the application. I know there are desktop wallets which have this functionality. Infinity comes into my mind. So hopefully that is something that they will be adding in the future. So let's do a bit of a final breakdown of the Cypherock X1 hardware wallet. So it's priced at currently 179 euros. With my coupon code LightLiger17, it's going to be priced at roughly at 148 euros, which makes it a bit more premium price compared to like Ledger and Treasure, for example, but it's a lot more closer to the prices of Secux and Keystone wallets, which we have reviewed on the channel as well in the past. But then again, Cypherock has this very unique security mechanism, which is not offered by any hardware wallet out there, and that proprietary technology, in my opinion, is worth paying those extra bucks instead of like getting those cheap hardware wallets which had security problems in the past. So what are the other things that are basically given to you by buying this wallet? So there's 24 support here. So basically, if you have any questions, you're able to chat with the people on the website. There is 1,000 digital assets being supported, and that is basically counting out the ERC20 tokens here. There's way to basically add up 4 existing seed phrases to the wallet. So that is the actual application that we covered earlier. So you're able to import seed phrases into that if you want to. It is also fully open source, so you can basically go into their GitHub profile and see everything that you have. And it's basically using a bank grade security EAL6+. I don't never know about these designations. All of these hardware wallets have their own security chips and etc. And probably some more advanced people can go into that, like what are those things. Here's a bit of the architecture and breakdown of the wallet. Once again, I have to say that I really like the physical device because it's so smooth to use, and the joystick is really nice and fun to use. And there's obviously the OLED display, the joystick we already broken down, the USB-C, and then there's the EAL6 Plus cards here, which are NFC based. And then there's also encrypted communication, so this is not like the cards are not connected into internet or anything like that. And it's a very durable joystick, apparently 500,000 taps, so that's pretty nice. And then in terms of the technical specification here, so we have support for Windows, Mac, Linux. Future is going to be on Android and iOS, like we talked about earlier, that I was saying that yes, we need that mobile support in the future. The working temperature is 6 to 16 Celsius, so that's actually pretty high. So it's basically can put it into an oven. Well, not exactly into an oven, but it can survive a pretty good heats, which is good. The display size is 0.96 inches. The weight is 200 grams, and CPU is STM32 ARM Cortex. And you can basically get into more of these devices. And here's a bit of a comparison between Ledger and Treasure. No seed phrases required, inheritance of your crypto assets. So I don't really have to worry about if I die, long as my relatives are going to be finding those 4 cards. They can basically, get access to my funds without knowing the seed phrase. So that is actually a very good thing, in my opinion. Storage of multiple seed phrases, open source. By the way, Ledger is open source, at least partially. And EAL6 secure element, which is probably used, seems to be used by Ledger as well, and decentralized private key storage. And that's basically my breakdown of Cypherock. So in terms of usability, it's pretty good. Sometimes it's a bit tedious to, depending where you are, to like scan all those cards. But then again, it's, if you're not going to be doing transactions daily, you're not going to be bothered by it. But obviously, I do hope that they're going to be adding that mobile support in the future, and there could be a couple of tweaks in the actual desktop device, which we kind of broke down earlier in this video. But in terms of people looking for a nice thing that they can carry on their keychain, something that they can bring along with, store the keys, don't want to remember seed phrases, this is actually a pretty good option for you, because once again, there is no other thing in the space that's basically offering the same experience of security than the Cypherock is giving. As always, thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more hardware wallet reviews on the channel. Check out my previous reviews as well, and I will be seeing you in the next video when that drops out. Cheers.